Hi babies, welcome back to Thursday's episode where we are going to be talking about mutual masturbation, why it's important, how to bring it into the bedroom, and how it's going to spice up your sex life. However, first before we get started, I wanted to talk about community guidelines. So as some of you might already know, it's really hard for creators like myself to be making revenue off of YouTube because of the style of content that I'm trying to bring to you. So I created a different way for y'all to support me. And as you can see, I'm wearing a little bit more clothes than normal. I created my very own After Sex hoodie. Now, just because it's called After Sex doesn't mean you can't wear it in public and in the streets. It is a ginormous bat-winged oversized unisex hoodie launched underneath my brand name Moody. So just so you guys can get an idea of how oversized this hoodie really is, I am wearing a small. It has nice big bat wings with a nice tiny discreet Moody label in the front. However, I come in hot with a big bang in the back, obviously. However, we have to slide in a little bit incognito if we want to wear it out in public. So you know what your girl did? We added a kitty in the middle. So if you guys want to help support me and support my content so that I can keep bringing you videos every single week, then make sure you save the date April 8th because that's when I'm launching my pre-orders. And you definitely don't want to miss out. And I just want to show you guys one other feature, how soft and fuzzy and velvety it is on the inside. It's like you're being clothed by a nice blankie all the time. Don't forget, save the date. April 8th is when I launch my pre-orders. All right, now let's get back to what you guys actually came here for, and it's mutual self-pleasure. So when we're talking about mutual self-pleasure, it kind of gets confusing. Am I touching myself? Are you touching me? What exactly is going on? Are you just watching and then am I watching you? But the answer is yes, all of the above, whatever feels good. I want to start off by saying self-pleasure is one of the best ways to get to know your body. It's a trigger release for stress, tension, anxiety. But when you invite your play partner in to experience it with you, it opens up a door to engage more intimately. It can be a super intimate form of self-love, sexploration, and not to mention the hottest form of sex ed that there is out there. Because what a better way to understand and figure out your partner than watching how they like to please themselves. So here's a few tips for anybody who needs just a little bit of guidance on how to bring mutual self-pleasure into the bedroom. So to kick things off, we want to touch ourselves together. One of my favorite ways to do this is actually starting to touch myself, making my partner just sit there and watch. However, that can be a little bit kinky and a little bit intimidating if you're just starting out. A great way to approach the situation is have you both start touching and pleasuring yourselves. Maybe you keep the rule of not touching each other, but only touching yourselves. Feel free to talk dirty. Maybe do a little bit of sustained eye contact. Hell, maybe you throw in a little bit of visual stimulation. Other than watching your partner get themselves off, you can also throw a little bit of adult content into the background. Plus, picking something super sexy to watch with your partner can be a huge turn on. The second way you can bring this into the bedroom is to touch each other, but with no penetration. So how you can do this is you can start by pleasuring yourself, watching your partner pleasure themselves, and be in a position where it's easy for you to access your partner's balls or maybe their clit or their booty hole so that you can almost aid them in their self-exploration journey. This is a really common way to kick things off, specifically because it's like a soft leaning into motion where you're not quite just self-pleasuring in front of each other, but you're also helping each other get off with just your hands, and that can be kinky as F. The third thing I want you to think about is inviting a toy into the playroom. This might just be the missing thing for you as a couple. Sometimes it's hard to have that conversation to get your partner to use the toy on you during the act. However, this is a great way that you can show your partner how you like your favorite toys to be used. Maybe it's a cock ring, maybe it's a butt plug, or maybe it's a vibrator. There are endless amounts of options. Hell, some people even like to do a little bit of light bondage. Trying new things is super hot. But like I said, this is a great way to show your partner how you like your toys to be used on you, and a really great segue to bringing them into the bedroom when there's penetration involved. The next one is really a key point I want to make. Just because you are doing self-pleasure on yourselves does not mean that you cannot be connected to your partner. A really great introduction to it is making out with your partner first. Getting aroused, getting in the mood, seducing them like you're going to be doing the act of penetration. But that's when the tease comes in. That's when you sit your butt on the bed and you reach your hand right in between your legs and you start touching and caressing yourself, turning yourself on and making your partner watch. I'm just telling you all my tricks here. When you're making out, obviously there's time to dirty talk, whisper into your partner's ear. You're slowly starting to undress each other. Or maybe you're just undressing yourself. You might even ask your partner, did you like watching me undress? And this is when you can start playing with different types of dirty talk. You can even encourage your partner to touch themselves first. Tell them that's what you want to see. I want to see you stroke that big. And then as you're watching them, that's when you can slowly introduce touch to yourself. That is the most organic way to start the act. All of this takes tons of confidence, but I hope you're gaining confidence by listening and watching me talk about it. Ultimately, it's not just about the bond that you have with your partner, but it's about the bond that you have with yourself. Now let's talk about different ways to position yourselves. If you are more confident and you do self-pleasure a lot, you can just sit directly in front of your partner with your legs spread. Now, if you're feeling a little bit more anxious, you might want them to be behind you, spooning you, caressing your back, stroking your thighs, whispering things into your ear. Now, I do realize that a lot of people are concerned and maybe not as confident with their genitals and what they look like. Now, if you're wanting a position that still gives your partner a slight view of you pleasuring yourself, you can always turn your body on an angle or pull a blanket over top of you and touch yourself that way. And then your partner can see your hot facial expressions. So remember, just move at a pace that is comfortable to you. Now, a really important tip that I want to tell you is do not worry about what you look like. A lot of the time when we're self-pleasing in front of somebody else, we tend to fall into a performance act. Now, don't get it twisted. You do not have to be that famous porn star that you are trying to be right now. We all know that is a giant act unless you're watching ethical porn. And even then, it's still an acting job. Focus more on what makes you feel good. What feels good for you? Having those organic breaths, maybe that sound leaving your body, those deep moans. After all, your partner wants to see exactly how you turn yourself on. So if you're out here faking it, how is that gonna be helpful to you? So keep the focus on the real pleasure and the real sensations. The final tip that I wanna say is just go with the flow. There is no pressure to come in this session. Maybe you decide to switch it up and hop on top instead. Or maybe you decide to stop, maybe cuddle, fall asleep. Everything is all good, it's all Gucci. This is all about pleasure and learning about each other. There's no strict plans and there's no goals. Hell, you might try it, you might love it, and you might not. Bottom line is a mutual self-pleasure is one of the most intimate acts there is out there. There's just something about showing your partner how you like to please and touch yourself. It can just take things to the next level. Just be patient with yourself. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Touch yourself like no one's watching. Maybe just close your eyes down. Go underneath the covers, but I encourage you, showcase what you got. Showcase what your mama gave you, because what you have is absolutely beautiful and your partner will think so too. And if they don't, then honey, I'm just telling you right now, there is somebody out there who will love every inch of your body. I promise you that. So if you want a video on how to build confidence in the bedroom, make sure you comment down below and I will deliver. Also, don't forget to comment if you're interested in buying my merch. There's only gonna be 100 hoodies launched, so you're gonna have to be fast. So April 8th, write it in your calendar. You do not want to miss the pre-orders. All right, babies, I will see you on Monday. Cheers.